VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Happy Monday. Big show lined up over the next 3 hours. Great guests, including Mr. Las Vegas advisor Anthony Curtis. We'll get into the big, beautiful bill at that time with him. Also, Las Vegas in the summertime. Casinos are adapting to the times, Paulie. Paul Charchian with a long shot bet in the NFL now that most of these markets are available at certain sports books across the country. And Mickey Studo, after winning yet another muster belt on Friday, July 4th, we'll recap went down with her coming up at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific time today. But we have a developing situation on the men's side over at Wimbledon. And I am watching the screen right now for those of you who are watching the show on YouTube TV or wherever else might be, because this is happening right now in real time. As we were coming on the air, Grigor Dimitrov was leading Jannik Sinner 2-0. And he was looking super sharp, obviously, today. It was a combination of Sinner maybe not having a A game, but Dimitrov looked fantastic. And he just hurt himself. This is like within the last 5 minutes. And literally breaking news here, he just retired from the match. Up 2-0 over Sinner, who was one of the co-favorites along with Alcaraz here. And wow, that is huge.
It was plus 125 to win Wimbledon. It's rare for him to lose a set, let alone to be down 2-0, 2-0. And then he's only $1.10, $1.20 to win the match. I mean, it's incredible that he's still $1.10, yet he's down 2 sets to win. And Dimitrov was as high as 15-1 to win the match. And you saw it where it seemed harmless, that he's just going for a routine serve. And after the serve, he grabs his pec, like the right of his side of his pec.
Right.
And then he's wincing in pain and goes down to the ground. He gets up, and then they check on him while he's sitting down, and they're looking at him. And then, as you pointed out, the doctor, whoever he is, trainer, comes over, and he starts to massage him and move around, and then he hits the sweet spot, and he almost jumps out of his chair.
Yeah.
Dimitrov. And that's when, okay, then he briefly goes back where you think there's going to be a mental exercise, shoot him up, whatever. And then that he came right back immediately. He could barely move his arm.
So when he went back, that's what we kind of thought here. Like, is it going to be Toradol? What are they going to put in to see if he can come and finish off Sinner at this point? He came back, they made up his mind, and he went over to try to, shake. Well, he shook Sinner's hand. Paulie, he reached up to shake the hand of the referee. He had to go like this. He grabbed, again, it happened on his right side. So it's not like the left side where his heart is, obviously. He had to grab his right wrist like this and pull up with his left arm so he could get it high enough to shake the referee's hand. That's a pretty serious injury. Mm-hmm. The poor guy.
Yeah, I was going to, well, I don't care what you can give him to shoot him up or what, but it's like, how's he going to serve?
He had no chance.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to do anything after that. So now Sinner's got to talk about his win and moving on, even though he was bad today and got thoroughly outplayed.
Well, I will say this. So our producer, Luke, loves betting on tennis. And he was texting us throughout this match today when Sinner fell down 1-0. He's like, guys, you can grab him right now. And I think it was minus 125, Luke, in that neighborhood. Down a set and a break. Okay, it was minus 125. Then I'm looking. I'm like halfway here. I'm at a red light. I'm like, let me check out the price. I love looking at apps when I'm at a red light driving, by the way. It's always a smart thing to do. But I noticed he was minus 310 to win the match. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Turns green. I put the phone down, start to drive away. And then, I get here to Circa, and Luke's sending another text saying, guys, he's plus 110 now to come back and win because he lost the second set. And he's down 2 sets to zilch at that point. And so Luke bet him. And I don't think he saw it going like this and winning the bet like that. But
that was 2-2 in the third set, by the way.
Yeah.
That's another one. So he was in a world of hurt.
Only twice, by the way, in Jannik Sinner's career has he ever come back from down 2-0. I believe one, I don't know, Luke, maybe you can double check this. I think he came back against Medvedev down 2-0 to win the Australian Open. I want to say, was that 2024 when he did that? But anyway, what do you think Dimitrov was today to win 3-0?
Yeah, good call.
Or to lay a 1.5 sets with him.
Yeah.
To win 3-1 overall.
I mean, he's 15-1, 15-1 just to win. My God. So Sinner moves on to the quarters, and then Joker will play July 9th. Joker was impressive today. He's down to 4-1 to win the tournament. So we're looking at the possibility of Sinner against Joker in the semis, and then Alcaraz at the bottom of that bracket. Alcaraz will play tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So we're down. We're down to the quarterfinals now that they updated it. But that's Sinner takes on Shelton now, and then hopefully it's Sinner against Joker. And I'll tell you, this is what Fritz is doing, pulling it out of a hat every single match. Where he's down a couple sets. Every game goes 5 sets. Every match goes 5 sets. He's still alive, a top 5 player. And then it's chaos with the women. Sabalenka is now minus 160 to win the tournament, as it's been all these top seeds have gone down. But she's the last gal standing. And she plays tomorrow morning as well. But it's set up beautifully for her. I don't think she's going to play someone. She could go all the way to the finals without playing anyone who's ranked.
That's incredible.
If it falls her way coming up here. Yep. So $1.60 to win for a reason now.
Okay, so that's just happening right now, obviously. Dimitrov had to retire, up 2-0 over Sinner. Sinner advances. Phew, man, that's crazy. Major League Baseball, Paulie, we're in that little time frame now that we have post-July 4th, right before the All-Star break. Another week of action here. We get the break in the game and the home run derby, obviously, next week. So I think we have a pretty good understanding what these teams are 3 months into the season. And I guess even though the Blue Jays are 14 games over 500 and they have a plus 12 run differential, that's it. I guess we got to take them seriously here.
Damn right.
Right? I mean, that's a 7-game home winning streak that they just rattled off. And they were very good, beating the Angels, by the way, in all 3 games by 1 run. So that hurts it for the Angels, obviously. But now the Blue Jays with Barrios on the road, taking on the White Sox today, and they're one of the biggest stories going on right now in Major League Baseball.
Yep, they are the real deal, and this pitching's been fantastic, and they found a way to win against the Angels. I'm concerned if the Yankees are just going to make the playoffs now, because look at the record when Fried doesn't pitch. So do they do anything at the deadline? Can they make some moves to improve this team? But that was ugly, getting swept in Toronto, and then they go to New York and get it handed to them as well by the Mets with the rivalry series as well. So Toronto, great story. Detroit kicking ass and taking names, even when the bats aren't there. They get the miracle win yesterday, which we'll talk about in a vicious beat. But I think this thing's wide open, and especially when you look at the National League, the Dodgers got it handed to them. You have to respect the Astros, what they did in the worst loss in history at Dodger Stadium, losing 18-1. Phillies pitching so good. Cubs are strong, and maybe they don't do much, but I still would be a little bit afraid of Milwaukee if they can make the playoffs based on what the pitching could look like and how they could hit. So
they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, okay, so you got that in the National League. I got Houston. I have Detroit. I think Toronto's for real. Yankees appear to be a fraud. This is getting fun now, juicy.
Throwaway season for the Atlanta Braves.
Right.
Stick a fork in them, Johnny. They're pretty much done.
And as you pointed out last week, this first 5 thing continues.
Yeah, where they just were not scoring any runs whatsoever in the first 5, going back like a good 10 days.
Yeah.
The Cubs are going to be a menace in the postseason with this offense. They have too many, where's the weakness, really? The bottom of the order yesterday was absolutely fantastic, and they really don't have that many easy outs there overall. Now, that said, all that right there wrapped up, I don't know if I want to lay $160 with Barrios on the road, where he has a pretty good road ERA this season, but also Burke is 2 runs better at home for the White Sox than he is when he's on the road. You can't deny what the offense has been like for Toronto as well. George Springer continues to just dominate. Last 7 days, he's batting .429 with 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in, and 9 runs scored. And Barger's also been a good story. He's been hot over the last 7 days. And then you mentioned the Tigers, but this is the guy that you really can't back tonight. It's Flaherty against Baz. I think we're going to get some runs in this game because Baz can be a little flammable, and Flaherty has been super home run prone this year.
It's Montero now.
Oh, they flipped it.
It's Montero.
They did.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and Montero's been okay, and Baz has been strong as well. So that's a tough. The game that sticks out to me is Houston. Houston at home, after what they've done and what they just did to the Dodgers, $1.30 against the atrocious Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland's lost 10 in a row. outscored 48-15. Bybee 0-7 with an ERA of 5 in his last 7 starts. And Houston 24-8 run, number 1 ERA. Yet they're this cheap at home. That's surprising.
Well, do I have this mixed up as well? Hunter Brown's going today, is he not?
Gordon.
They flipped that too?
I got Gordon for the Astros.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess the 2 websites I cross-reference every single day were off, I think, a little bit with their starters. But that is a cheap number for sure. Bybee's splits, by the way, 5.40 road ERA versus 2.57 at home. The whip way higher on the road at home as well. So I don't know. That's way too much respect for Tanner Bybee. Mm-hmm. I don't understand where that's coming from.
Absolutely. And DeGrom goes tonight as well. How good is this late game? DeGrom against Kikuchi.
Wow, this reeks of an under.
Right.
Which always scares me.
DeGrom can't get over 17.5 outs.
And
14 starts in a row. He's allowed 2 earns or fewer and gone 5 innings plus. King Felix did it in 2014, and Matt Latos did it in 2010.
Matt Latos.
Guys to go, the last 25 years to have 15 straight starts, 2 earned runs or fewer, and go 5 innings.
Wow, and Kikuchi's awesome at home.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm with you. If you're serious about winning this football season, our NFL betting guide, Your First Real Edge, available now, over 90 pages. Team previews, division previews, best bets, player props, MVP, betting projections, everything you need to bet smarter all season long. Get it as part of our football special, $175 through the Super Bowl. $175. Every pick, every host, every guest. A morning email from Bill 80, the dad of the tools. Early bird price ends at the end of the month. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it now. What an offer.
I've added an NFL win total bet, and Paulie will expand on why he likes this exacta in the AFC South next.
What's the guarantee? Eric?
Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole 9, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. I'll tell you about an NFL win total bet that I made coming up here in a few minutes. Paulie, I'm intrigued by something that you have, 2 different bets in one division because you made exactas on the exact result in the AFC South. Explain how you bet it and why you like it.
So when you look at the odds and also how you handicap a division, I think the best odds and the best value is in the AFC South. So I have a pretty strong opinion that, like in the NFC East, it's going to go Philly, Washington, Dallas Giants, or Washington, Philly, Dallas Giants. Could be wrong, but again, if that happens, it's plus 330.
Okay.
If it's chalk, it doesn't pay that well. Same thing with these other divisions as well. But when you look at the AFC South, and again, everything that went wrong, it's fascinating because most people think that the Texans had a bad year, or at least a bad regular season, with how Stroud regressed and at times what the offense looked like, and looked no further than that Thursday night game when they played the god-awful Jets and were underdogs. Mm-hmm. But still, they won a playoff game and had Mahomes and the Chiefs on the ropes a week later on the road. So I think when you look at Houston to win the division, I think it's going to take a lot for Tennessee to get out of the basement. And what do we know about a rookie quarterback and the bad coaching with Callahan and what they have to endure? So I think I have the first place and the last place finishers pegged right there. And then you can just flip out Indy or Jacksonville. So if you go Houston, Jacksonville, Indy, Tennessee, that's 9-1. And if you're not buying Jacksonville, if Lawrence has a tough season, maybe they don't live up to the hype or at least can't catch the Texans, but the Colts have their issues. If you go Texans, Colts, Jacksonville, Titans, that's 12-1. And that's widely available with the exact how it's going to come 1, 2, 3, 4 in the AFC South. Again, strong that Houston wins it, strong that Tennessee finishes in last. And you could say that about a lot of divisions. But when you look at the payout, though, that's the best payout. Because like AFC West, right? Doesn't pay much. Like, again, 4-1 where it's,
sure,
okay, Raiders finish in last, and then if it's Kansas City, Denver, Kansas City, whatever, Chargers in third, you don't get a big payout as well. So when you look at the payout and how you handicap the division, it's 9-1 and 12-1. If you just have Houston first, Tennessee last, and whatever you want to do with Jacksonville and Indy in the middle.
I think it's good. I think that's the one. You hit the nail on the head. That's the one division where I think it would probably make the most sense to do that, right? Based on strongest opinion on which team's going to finish first, strongest opinion on what team's going to finish last, and then you can kind of flip up and mix the second and third place finishers. I will add, but before we move on here, which leg scares you the most? The Texans not finishing in first or the Titans not finishing in last place?
I would say probably things go haywire for the Colts, and they fall all the way back.
I would agree.
Yep. And how bad the defense was, and maybe Ward surprises people, and they get to respectability.
Yeah, a lot of people are making the case for Jacksonville this year, again, to win the division. I can't get there. Am I going to be surprised if they win 8 or 9 games? No, but I don't think that they're as good as the Texans, and I think there's a pretty big difference between the two. But I think what you said there, maybe rock bottom this year for Indy is just so bad that they happen to win 4 or 5 games. And there is that angle, too, where they could be the lowest scoring team in the NFL if something happens to the quarterbacks, as we've discussed on this show.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that scenario, what if Cam Ward's actually really, really good? Right? And they have the weapons there in place, and we were all wrong about the head coaching position last year with Tennessee, and they happen to, and the defense gets back on track this year. They were just a total abomination, and they were one of the worst covering teams in the sport going back like decades last year. So maybe it does flip a little bit and they don't finish in last place, but I like where your head's at with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the
fun market.
Yeah. Here's the win total bet that I have added. And I will go all the way back to the beginning of the offseason when the first bet that I made was the Rams to win the Super Bowl at 30-1. That was the day that Matthew Stafford announced that he was not going to retire or not, going to demand to go to a different team. He was going to come back and play for the Rams. So shopping around and doing, more research on the schedule and looking at the overall personnel, I thought to myself, well, if I bet them at 30-1 immediately to win the Super Bowl, that means at 9.5, I have to be pretty strong on them to also go over their win total. You can still find them around minus 135 to go over that number. So I'll crunch it down like this. They have the 12th most difficult schedule on paper, which it's kind of middle of the pack. But as a reminder, last year, 2 out of 10 teams with the toughest schedules in football made the playoffs a year ago. That was Detroit and this Rams team. They played the AFC South, getting the Texans at home in week 1. They also play the NFC South. Last year, they ranked 8th overall in rushing success rate and 4th in early down success. They ranked 3rd overall in early down success rate when you combine the rushing and the receiving. They were brilliant out of the gates to begin drives for the most part. They were also 4th in early down passing EPA in the first 3 quarters last year. Elite head coach, top 10 quarterback, O-line's above average. The wide receivers should be absolutely phenomenal. A front 7 that is super young, but I think extremely dangerous. And when you go back and look at where they really kind of stunk last year, they were one of the worst teams in the league on 3rd down, especially when it was between 3 and 7 yards. Because, again, I mentioned the early down success rate, awesome, but the 3rd downs is where they struggled. And Matthew Stafford was terrible on 3rd and 4th downs overall. Out of 33 quarterbacks with at least 80 dropbacks, this is per Warren Sharp, Stafford ranked number 31 in EPA per dropback, number 29 in success rate, 31st in yards per attempt, and 30th in first down rate. He was so good early, but not late. And the early down stuff, out of 45 qualifying quarterbacks, Stafford was number 2 in EPA per dropback, number 3 in success rate, and number 9 in yards per attempt. He also stunk based on the numbers inside the 10-yard line. So what did they do in the offseason? There's no more Cooper Kupp, who was not close to the same guy where he nearly pulled off the MVP a handful of years ago. He's gone. They brought in Devontae Adams, who showed with the Jets last year that I think he still has a lot of game left in him. He is and has been one of the best end zone targets. Rodgers and Adams were absolutely brilliant in Green Bay for all those years when they got near or at the goal line. Basically unstoppable. So now they added him to the repertoire, along with a really good running back. They drafted another tight end this year. They're going to be fine overall there. I think some of those negative numbers are going to regress to the positive, and I absolutely love their defense. Secondary might be a weak link, but overall I think the front 7 can be dynamite. They are currently favored in 13 games, and so I think they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I think if this season is played out 30 times, the Rams would absolutely either be in the Super Bowl or win one of those. And so the total's not 9.5, not 10.5, not 11.5. It's 9.5. Again, minus 135 in that neighborhood. Had to bet it over.
Love them. Could have gone to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, very true.
Philly on the ropes, 1st and goal in the blizzard. Looked like they were going to come back, and then the big sack on 3rd down, and then the incomplete pass on 4th down. How about how the defense came on in the second half of the season? Remember how bad it was early on when they were starting out and they couldn't stop anything. And remember that Sunday night game against the Eagles when Barkley's running wild. I mean, what they did to Sam Darnold, the pass rush, what Verse did, forcing turnovers, wreaking havoc there, and it carried over to the Philly game as well in the last 3 quarters. So with a good defense and an improved offense, maybe the 49ers get banged up again with the injury situation. The injury bug gets them again. The other thing I like, too, McVay owns Arizona, and that's another one. They've been great against Seattle as well.
Yeah.
So those would be some more wins for the Rams. Love it.
And I think Seattle is not going to be great this year. Defense can be really good. I'm far from in love with the offense.
Yep. Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa is known for taking big bets from pro bettors. DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. You're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that move lines. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits as little as $9.99 for your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it now, $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe.
I believe Mike Palm said on the air that Matthew Stafford's like a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. I have him top 10 absolutely locked in. He's done some stuff in recent years where I'm like, this guy's actually getting better. And he's 37 years old. And I have really come around on Sean McVay as well. There were some times when he was everybody's darling, where I'm like, he's running the ball way too much.
Fair. Yeah,
right? Exactly.
He does that.
But he is, you can't deny the success that he's had in the league. Now, they play some early, really difficult games, and it actually might be a pretty good idea to bet their win total. I might add more if they get out of the gates like, let's say 3-3, and the total is still like 9.5 or so. So I think from like week 8 on, their bye week, they have one of the easiest schedules in all of football. All right, up next, shopping around and betting every single under in this market has been profitable over the years. I'll tell you what it is on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Season the sharp way with a VSiN Pro subscription. Right now, grab our football special for just $175. An early bird deal that gives you full VSiN access through the Super Bowl. That includes our NFL betting guide, loaded with team previews, power ratings, and season-long best bets. Plus, pro picks sent to your inbox daily, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, live shows on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. Don't wait. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Monday. We're live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino, where, by the way, Paulie, they took entry number 2 over the weekend.
Hey-o.
In the Circa Grandissimo Survivor Contest, $100,000 buy-in.
Yep. He signed up at footballcontest.com with Tony and Maddie, Vegas Maddie, and did that. They've been doing this a long time. And apparently a Chiefs fan, made some future bets on the Chiefs, and then enjoyed all the pomp and circumstance that comes with it, with all the perks as he signed up. So number 2, we'll see if they can get to 20. A lot of people think they're going to blow by that.
I think they're going to get to 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe the number is, 1,900 right now in the original Survivor Contest here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. Have you talked to anybody, by the way, about getting into the big boy?
What, the 100? Get the hell out of here.
I'm asking.
$100,000. No.
Asking.
No. People have reached out for the 5, but not the 100. I'm not going to.
That was pretty fascinating when we talked to David Baker, who won a bracelet at the World Series of Poker. He took down a contest for $650,000. He's made a lot of money playing poker in his life and betting football, by the way. And he's like, yeah, a little bit too rich for my blood. It's a strong entry fee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure.
Well, I think you get a lot of poker players and people that'll partner up too, and the advantage players and the pro bettors that'll did it as well.
Okay.
What's the braggadocious factor?
Oh, no question.
Put it on Instagram and brag, which can go against you, as we just saw. A couple tweets came in with individuals thinking their ticket was over in tennis. Not so fast.
No kidding. No kidding, Paulie. This is some excellent information. It comes from someone who has been on this show before. His name is Chris Earl, and he has been doing this for at least a handful of years, where his goal is to shop around and find the best number on every single wide receiver full season yardage prop that he could find, and then bet every single under at the best number that he can find. So he went 56-30 last year. He found 86 of them at various sports books, shopped around, and would then bet every single one that he could find. He made plus 19.77 units per his findings this year. Books have adjusted to some of the players going under. For example, Justin Jefferson was around 1,300 last year. He's about 1,250 this year. Travis Kelce is at 675. That's down 200 yards from last year at 875. Amon-Ra St. Brown was 1,250 last year. He's down to around 1,100. A.J. Brown was 1,275 last year. He's now at around 1,150. So 63 receivers posted in 2024 and in 2025. Same guys, right? 27 have higher yardage numbers. 33 are lower. 3 are the same. FanDuel had the lowest straddle for years at 24 cents. They were minus 112 on each side. They're now at minus 114. DK has been around or at minus 110 on these players this year. And he specifically pointed out this season, if you would like to get on board with this, and again, so many things can happen to make a receiver go under. Quarterback can get hurt. Boom, there you go. Automatic. Defenses might adjust. Double coverage. The receiver himself might get hurt. These could be inflated numbers, right? So you can find 100-yard middles or maybe even more on some of these wide receivers. For example, here's the list. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Drake London, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Matthew Golden, Mike Evans, and T. Higgins have at least a 75-yard middle this year. And again, he's at all the big legal sports books looking around, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, and putting this all together. Some of them have a middle of 125 yards. This year, he's going to try for the middle on those. Normally, he would just bet every single under. This year, with the big differences, he's like, I'm going to try to middle all of them. But overall, again, Chris Earl bet 87 wide receiver yardage props on the year already. So in total, he has wagered $9,797, and that's to win $100 each on every single bet. The average number that he laid was about 12.6 cents of juice, so minus 112.6. and he needs to go 47-40 to break even this year. 50-37 would get you to a mark of up $833. Again, 56-30 betting this last year, Paulie. He will make $2,108 if he goes around 56-31 this year. 44, one game over 500 on 87 bets. 44-43 would be a loss of $442. But he's been doing this, I think, every year, or pretty much every year since legal sports betting got into, took off more than outside of Nevada, and it's been a winner for him every single year.
It seems to me, much like the NBA, that injuries are up too. Not that you're going to be out for the whole season or half the season, but it's just so-and-so's banged up, he's going to miss a game.
Yeah.
Oh, the quarterback has a concussion. And all that stuff changes things. If there's a quarterback injury, if the wide receiver's got a hammy, if the wide receiver has anything wrong, he's out a week up, precaution, we'll shut him down for a game. We don't want that to linger, whatever it could be.
Well, remember, this is every single year. We'll be halfway through the season, and a list of starting quarterbacks for, let's say, like week 9 will take off and go like viral on social media because it's going to be like 14 backups of guys you're like, are you serious? They're in the league? Like, that's the backup? Wait, they're on a third stringer? I've never heard of that guy. He's absolutely awful. That happens every single year. So that ties into it. And this is not picking and choosing like, oh, boy, I got to tell you, I think it's going to be a down year this year for Mike Evans. Doesn't do it. Just, he knows he's going to lose some of them. But overall, full season, betting every single one, 26 games over 500 last year. He does that again this year. He'll make more than $2,000 doing it. He loves doing it. It's a winner, so it's a very good approach. There's a lot of work that goes into it, though. Don't get me wrong. Because when you're sitting there tracking a minimum of 4, maybe 5 or more sports books, and you're looking at every single prop, you're taking a lot of notes. You might be making a lot of screen grabs, and then you got to go to war and fund everything and make the bets and make sure they're going to get in. So it's not a 5-minute process. It takes a long, long time to get there. But I love the idea of being committed to it and it being a winner. And by the way, coming up in an hour, Paul Charchian's going to come on the show.
Mm-hmm. You found this. Good.
We'll flip it here. He's going to give out like a positive season-long prop bet on a player that's, we'll say it's in the triple figures.
And it's great information.
Yes, it is.
It comes from somebody on an NFL team. Very good. Is this an overreaction to the adjustment now to win Wimbledon men? Before his match, Sinner was plus 120 to win the tournament. Down 2 sets to love, and Dimitrov had to retire. Sinner is now 2-1 to win Wimbledon. Alcaraz is even money now as we reach the quarterfinals.
Yes. That's too much of an overreaction.
Yeah.
Again, Luke, our producer, loves betting tennis, had a terrific point. This is like Sinner winning 3-0 today, right? Or not even, because they never even played a full one. There's no wear and tear on his body for the most part. He should have been, he came out of it scot-free, we think, in terms of an injury. Poor Dimitrov is the one who got hurt, and boy, it looks super painful out there on the court. But this is just like easy peasy. Waking up, I'll go play tennis for an hour. Oh, I get the victory. I get to move along because the dude had a tap out. 2-1.
He was up 2-0 against Alcaraz in the French Open.
That's right.
And then he blew it with the ultimate meltdown and had triple match point.
And
Joker's 4-1. Fritz is 20-1. Fritz is minus 330 in his next match. Alcaraz is 2,000. Joker is 1,200. And then we're down to the quarters in the women. As I mentioned, Sabalenka $1.50. Iga 4-1.
Now, Joker, I think today, right? He lost the first set 6-1, then came back and won the next 3 6-4.
Yep.
All of them. Playing some good tennis, but what's that going to look like when he has to go up against Sinner or Alcaraz at this stage of his career?
Mm-hmm.
Can he really dig deep and beat one of those guys? I think 4-1 is too short. I'd rather have Sinner 2-1 right now than Joker at 4-1.
Some of the tickets are coming in. I know our guy Ozzy had Dimitrov. He also had Dimitrov to win the first set. He had that one, but he could have swept the board, and that one's tough. Because
do you know what number he had on him?
I did not see overall, but again, there was as high. You said there was as high as a 20-1, 17-1.
I saw 17, circa 17-1. Yeah,
15-1 down the street at the Westgate. And he was probably going to lose, but then the injury, incredible.
Well, either way, you put it. At that point, you could have come back and bet Sinner somehow.
Yeah, sure.
Get off the ticket a little bit.
Yeah, but then that was wild that he was only $1.10. Win some, lose some, brought to you by Sharp Plays. Check them out before the line moves. Sharp Plays already there. They don't follow the market. They shape it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar books or full-time sharps all by yourself. With the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Backed by advanced AI and connected to trusted insider sources, Sharp Plays delivers the kind of edge serious bettors count on every day. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X-feed. Sharp Plays been proving it since 2011. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. SharpPlays.com, trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com. Stay ahead of the line.
Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We'll get to win-lose coming up next. All-time bad beat in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Just shake my head at some of this stuff. And a huge day for K-props. Paulie will explain coming up next.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Starting July 14th, gear up for the football season with VSiN Training Camp Today. Live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hosted by Kelly Bidlin, Nick Whalen, and Jeff Erickson. With special guests throughout the week, VSiN Training Camp Today delivers sharp insights on season-long props, futures markets, fantasy draft prep, playoff picks, and more. VSiN Training Camp Today, all week. Starting July 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Powered by the experts at VSiN. The Sports Betting Network.
Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Golf delivers every single week. No matter the tournament, who cares who's involved? We had a playoff again, and on the back nine, there was several guys within one shot of the lead and a five-way tie. Campbell wins 80-1. Griot top 5, 11-1 at the John Deere Classic.
You would think with a tournament being played every single weekend that you're going to get a dud like every once in a while. Like, oh boy, that tournament really stunk.
Yeah.
I mean, does anything even stick out in recent weeks or even like years, Paulie? It's fantastic like every single time.
Yep. Big tickets continue to cash as well. In the WNBA, the Sparks were 2-1. And Seattle was plus 190. Outright.
What do you make of that?
League's wide open. You saw what the Fever did against the Lynx. They have a great record, 15-2, whatever.
Right.
But for the Fever to go in there and pound them without Clark, and the Sparks can score as well. Most strikeouts yesterday, Wheeler plus 450 at Caesars and Will Hill. There were a lot of studs going and a lot of strikeouts, and Skubal had a bunch, but Wheeler gets there with 12 plus 450. Highest scoring game, Rays and Twins, 15-1. Most runs, Sunday, the Cubs, 20-1. Saturday, the Mets, 20-1. Friday, the Astros, 18-1. Dimitrov retired for the 5th straight major and 10th time overall.
Poor guy.
Today. 5 in a row, man. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. We have a friend who owns a restaurant, and you know the claw machine where you put the money in and you can get the, well, a kid got in there. This has made national news before where you've seen it, but he sent me the picture. I go, yeah, I was at my restaurant. We look up and the kid got in the claw machine where you come and you just try to get the gift, whatever, and look at that. That's where he got in, would contort his body. It's the size of someone's hand. How the hell did he get in there?
That's the spot that he went into?
That's how he got in the machine.
Oh, my God.
The mom's freaking out. They're calling the fire department. And then they're worried about, well, they got to break the glass.
Of course.
So they got to get the kid to back up, too. And he's panicking. He's like, but they had to break the glass to get the kid. They didn't want him to get hit by anything. So he's got to move to the back as well. But everything worked out.
Oh.
But look at the size of that. It's the size of someone's hand. And the kid got in the claw machine and walked right in. And he also, originally they couldn't see him because he fogged it up. Oh. He was in there as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm trying to figure out how he contorted the body to get in there.
I said the same. I go, how does he get in there? And they sent me the picture. And I know that's not the only time that's happened. That's been national news at various places. Yeah. It's been too long since we've seen our guy Fritzy from the Cincinnati Zoo. There's a big fella.
Is that him?
I don't think that's him. I think he's going to be the other one.
I was going to say, yeah, he's growing up here.
As I understand it, one of these, this is like a 15-pound watermelon and just going in no problem with the snack. I think he's the next one.
One bite?
That is excellent. I want to see the one where they crush it.
That's a tasty watermelon right there.
Yeah, give me 9. Here it is. I think that's our guy, Fritzy. Just come in, and that's a 15-pound watermelon. Open it up and just slam it in. And then watch how we did the destruction here. And it goes everywhere.
Oh.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, my God, Paul. He's 3 times the size last time we had a video of him.
Yeah, I know. Growing up, I think he was, last check, 700 or 800 pounds. Absolutely.
I'll tell you this right now.
Fantastic.
No joke. I would love to have that job.
That'd be a cool job.
Yep.
I'm with you. Yep. And of all things, I'm going to put it under win some. But you never know what's going to happen and you're going to encounter. This guy tweets, Philadelphia, the type of city where you find 40-year-old litter on the sidewalk. That Doritos bag is 40 years old. The retro bag's made by Frito-Lay at its Plano headquarter address, which they moved to in 1985 from Darren Ravel, if you look on the back. How does that happen? How's there a bag of Doritos that old just sitting there and the guy picks it up on the sidewalk?
Well,
right?
how does a bag that old look that new still?
Yeah. That's one of the most unbelievable things you're ever going to see. Ravel's all over it, too, after the guy tweeted who found it in Philadelphia. Say an 8 so. How did this happen? Saturday, the worst team in MLB history, 30-cent move. The Rockies, $1.15 up to 145. Pounded by the White Sox. Likewise, Cubbies, 120 up to 160. No good. And here's what Mitch talked about. An all-time bad beat yesterday. The total was 7. Under in Detroit, Cleveland. No score, bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Cleveland, top of the 9th. Tigers down to their final strike. A wild pitch, Detroit ties it. And then they erupt for 5 in the top of the 10th, and the game goes over. And 0-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Becomes, a 7-2 final.
Skubal.
And Detroit wins again, and Skubal was awesome, yes.
Double-digit Ks, right? 3 hits, 7 innings. Like you said, scoreless, bottom of the 8th. Class A comes in to close it out. One of the best seasons ever by a reliever a year ago. Goes to extras. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I thought about this a lot during this game, and I got a ton of feedback, like on social media regarding it, and the people who were either watching the game or who were, had it with a bet. I'm pretty convinced that baseball and soccer are the two sports that produce the worst.
Yep. Thanks to Jeff again, the guys at Sharp Plays. Win Some, Lose Some, brought to you by SharpPlays.com. Check them out, SharpPlays.com. The other one you mentioned, too, was what this guy did with the strikeout prop yesterday. At FanDuel, he had Williams, 8+ Ks, Woodruff, 8+ Ks, Boyd, 8+ Ks. 200, paid $42,000.
Yeah, I don't know who that Twitter account is, but they were like sending out tweets and people were saying, oh my God, I can't believe it, life-changing money. Evidently, they recommended this.
Oh,
all I can do is tip my cap, man. So they were. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they have a service, whatever it is, but evidently a lot of people followed them yesterday. And look at this. I mean, $1 bet paid out more than $40,000.
Yeah. He added Kirby. Kirby 9+ strikeouts. Wheeler 11+ strikeouts. Gossman 9. Williams 8. There's the Woodruff and there's the Boyd. $1 to win almost $41,000.
There's 200 to win more than 42,000. I mean, they were just coming in fast and furious. I saw one that was 47 cents that paid more than $18,000.
Oh my God.
So
Jokey at Jokey, Jokeee. 177,000 followers.
I mean, it was
this one tops them all. I've had some great days, and then there's all the tickets here.
Imagine field day, right? Because as you said, a lot of studs were going yesterday.
Yeah, right.
And you had, we're looking at 8+ strikeouts paying as high as, $520 with the Matt Boyd number. Woodruff was actually plus 630 making his first start, and they all got there.
Yeah.
The Wheeler stuff as well. He had, a dozen yesterday? So on the day where you have a lot of those, great starters going, and some guys that are just not great, but they're overall really good at striking out batters, and they just all got there. Huge day.
You have an incident as a kid? You ever get stuck doing something, or you needed help getting out, or, hey, Mitch got into this?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I did. I mean, like the railings or whatever, trying to put my head through them, like on a staircase or whatever. I'm sure that happened multiple times.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you?
Yeah, sort of. I was, my dad was sleeping, and he'd been drinking, and I hit him over the head with a flashlight.
On purpose?
Yeah, well, I was screwing around. I was a kid, but I'm like, hey, I'm trying to wake him up, and I hit him, and he got mad. He started chasing me, and he's angry, right? And he's going around the kitchen table, and I sliced my thumb open on the china hutch, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I could see the bone sticking out.
What?
So half in the bag. He's like, okay, no problem. And
I'll stitch you up.
He stitched me up right there. I'm screaming, right? I'm mad because he's coming after me. I hit him. He's got a temper. And I look and the bone sticking out. There's blood everywhere. No problem. Stitches me up. I'm good. And I was back to normal.
I
still got the scar here.
Do you really? Oh, my God.
Look at my thumb's kind of deformed.
Oh, yeah, it is. I never knew that before.
See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Never told me that story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for people who don't know, your dad was a doctor.
Yes.
And he was an alcoholic, right? And he would show up, and that's how he got canned, because he would have alcohol in the breath. You're like, wait, you're going to perform surgery and you're drunk? What's going on here?
Yeah, the nurses turned him in. I had their back. Yeah.
So he just has obviously he's got like a kid at the house. Then he wakes up probably like in a fog himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you get sliced, like severely sliced. Yeah. Let me find it. Let me get the scalpel out, buddy. Some stitches.
I got to go back and think though, like anything, that's a good one. If you ever got caught like, not in a claw machine, but certainly between rails, or you tried, you're damn kids. You try to do anything, right?
Of course, yeah.
Hand stuck in something or body, you can't get out of.
Then you start to panic completely.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, A Christmas Story. Did you ever do that?
The tongue with the
tongue on the frosty pole?
No, I didn't do that.
In the wintertime?
Hey, someone's got to know somebody. There's got to be some kid in the neighborhood growing up that some kid did that.
I promise you it happened in various spots. Yes.
Absolutely.
Because you watch the movie and the kid does it on the pole. You're like, does that really happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it does. All right, Mr. Las Vegas advisor Anthony Curtis on the program in studio coming up next. We'll get his take on the big, beautiful bill and how casinos have adjusted to the market next here on VSiN.
Introducing the $500 trifecta. Use your GBank Visa signature credit card within 3 months of account opening.